Hello everyone, this is Bob and Threadbare, and welcome back to The Longest Journey. Well, last time we defeated Roper Clax in the most confusing way possible. So now let's go steal his stuff. Nice lab. So what have we got here?
It's a crystal ball with tiny specks of light, flitting back and forth inside. This must be where Clax has trapped the souls of all those unfortunate people.
That's not a ball. So what else do we have around here? That looks like something.
It's a bottle containing a red liquid. I can't reach that high.
Yeah, makes sense. But hey, we know someone who could reach that high.
There's something behind the curtain. Clever fellow, that Roper Clax. Who'd think to look there?
Yeah, Wizard of Oz joke.
The window's closed, and that glass is too foggy to see through. I don't know how high up we are, but there are clouds below us, and I can't see the ground.
That would be pretty high. Huh.
It's a spell. Clouds and spider's webs, plus, magic finger? If alchemy is anything like chemistry, that last one is probably some kind of catalyst or something. Clouds and spiderweb plus catalyst makes invisible?
That's what you got out of that?
This page has been torn out, leaving only part of it readable. If he bothered to tear it out, it must be important.
Interesting note, the catalyst image is a left hand. By the way, I forgot to look at this last time. Alright, that's done.
It's a bottle containing white liquid.
Well, let's grab it.
It's a bottle containing a green liquid.
Alright, so what other hidden beauties do we have here? Oh, we've got the skull.
It's a big old skull with a weird blue light inside.
Let's touch it. Huh.
It's a bottle containing a blue liquid.
And there's another one.
It's a bottle containing a yellow liquid. Empty vials.
This must be where you add the ingredients.
It's a big cast iron pot simmering over a slow fire. It's a tap used for emptying the contents of the pot into a container.
Interesting decor he's got here. Alright, so we got a whole bunch of essences, but first I wanted to see about getting that last vial. So I called on the fellow who could actually get up there.
What's going on? Nice digs you found here, though I'd cut down on the mad alchemist decor just a little. It's just not you.
I don't plan on sticking around, Crow.
Heck, why not? You'll be mobile. Home security is not an issue, and you can strike fear into the hearts of men.
When you put it like that, no.
Hey, up to you. So, why'd you call me?
What's going on out there?
What's going on is that we're currently cruising at an altitude of, very high.
And where are we heading?
We're very slowly going nowhere except up. There's no wind, remember? It'll start getting chilly and hard to breathe in a few hours, however. That won't be very pleasant.
I could use some help.
I'll try my best. Just let me know what you want me to do.
Alright. Well, I know what I want you to do, so...
Think you can get that red flask for me, Crow?
Unless you want me to knock it down for you? No way. It's too large and unhandy for my claws.
Huh. Oh well. Well, maybe we won't need it just yet. Let's get to making that one potion we do know about. Oh hey, we got arrows now. They don't do anything yet. Oh, interesting.
It feels moist and light. Fluffy almost.
I'm imagining this would be the clouds.
It sounds like distant thunder. It smells like ozone.
Looks like we can jump to the next essence immediately.
It feels soft like satin and very fragile.
Well, that could be the spider web.
It sounds like the rapid flapping of fragile wings.
Or maybe it's butterflies.
It smells like fresh flowers.
Yeah, that could be butterflies.
It has the texture of thin strands of hair.
Ah, there's the spider. Yep. Yep, sure enough.
I can hear the rustling of tiny legs. It smells like pearls of morning dew.
Spider web.
It feels cool to the touch, like ice.
Ice crystals.
I can hear a distant tingling sound like crystal bells. It smells hard to define. Sharp, decisive, earthy.
Well, that's not ice. Well, if April doesn't know, maybe it's the catalyst. Alright, so according to the potion, and we'll do this in order here. It needs to be cloud, spiderweb, then the catalyst. Cloud, spiderweb's the green one. And the catalyst, blue.
I'll just pour the finished potion into one of these vials. Like so. Fortunately, they're small enough to carry in my pocket.
And there we go. And hey!
It's a vial containing a magical essence that, with luck, will make me invisible.
And you may be wondering why I needed an invisibility potion so badly. Well, do you remember evil April in this mirror? Well, she doesn't exist if April's invisible.
I'm invisible! That's so cool!
Which means I can now grab this unmolested.
Solid again. Good timing. I've got to hold on to this stuff. If nothing else, it's perfect for sneaking into clubs back home.
Wait, would magic even work in the other realm? I mean, we saw what science did to Roper Clacks.
It's a page that's been torn out of a book.
It kind of went haywire.
From the intricate schizophrenic handwriting and the frighteningly detailed illustrations, I'd say it came from a spell book. I could be wrong, but no.
Looks like we need to apply it while we're zoomed in. So let's do so. Oh. 4 more spells.
Butterfly wings with clouds makes leaf. Makes you light as a leaf, probably.
That is an incredible conclusion to jump to.
Clouds with brimstone makes storm. Storm? I could bring the wind back with this potion.
Well, that makes more sense, though.
Brimstone with brimstone makes Big Bang. Ooh, like a firecracker. I always wanted a firecracker.
Firecracker, sure.
Spider's webs and butterfly wings makes... What is that? A chain around a chaotic symbol? Chaotic like magic? Chain magic? Bind magic!
I thought that was the symbol of the balance. Either way. Alright, so I took that opportunity to write everything down, so we can just go straight to this. Make all the potions we can. So, we will start with the last one, which means spider's web plus butterfly wings. And the catalyst.
I'll just pour the finished...
Yeah.
The magical essence in this vial is supposedly used for binding magic. Whatever that means.
Sounds self-explanatory, honestly. Alright, Lite as a leaf potion. Which she somehow got from just the leaf. There's butterfly wings and clouds. So honestly, the ingredients make it give a better clue than that image does.
I'll just... It's a vial containing a magical essence that's supposed to take off those few extra pounds in a jiffy. Those few extra pounds meaning, of course, everything.
Alright, well that's all I can make for now. But I can use that Lite as a leaf potion.
I'll just take a tiny little sip. Ooh, bitter. I do feel a little less weighty. If I put my mind to it, I could probably jump quite high.
Well, that's good, because we need to jump high to get this vial. Must be brimstone up there. That's the only thing missing.
Whoa! I should save some of this stuff for the Olympic Games next year. It's a safe bet I dominate the high jump and pole vault contests.
Again, though, would it work in Stark?
Ow, it burns!
Yeah, that figures.
It sounds like something's burning. It smells like sulfur.
Yep. That's brimstone for you. So, let's make the final two potions that use brimstone. Starting with the explosive.
I'll just pour the finished potion into one of these vials.
Alright, there we go.
I made this essence using brimstone with brimstone, which obviously is a pretty explosive combo. So, a vial with some nitroglycerin, really.
It would be more obvious if it was just about burning. It's kind of a different thing than exploding. Anyway. Clouds plus brimstone. And the catalyst, as always.
I'll just pour the...
Oh, the essences are gone. I guess we don't need them anymore.
It's a vial containing an essence that can bring back the wind from wherever it's been trapped.
Well, it was trapped in that wind essence vial. The clouds. Anyway, first things first. Blow up the crystal ball.
Nothing. It just fizzled. The crystal seems to be in constant fluctuation. Maybe that's preventing the explosive potion from being effective.
Because that is clearly a ball right there. Anyway, sounds like we need to bind the crystal before we can blow it up. So let's do that.
It's a crystal ball with souls trapped inside it.
Again, that is not a ball. Sure hope none of these guys are load-bearing. That poor guy. Alright, that's done. Now let's return the wind.
What if the wind just blows it back inside? No, I'll have to find a better way to distribute it.
Hey, here's something for Crow to do.
Hold on to this vial, okay?
Oh, sure, holding on to stuff is a specialty of mine. What for?
I'll let you know.
I guess we got to do the second part, too.
I want you to fly out there, Crow, as high as you can and empty the potion into the clouds.
But what if there's lightning? I don't like lightning. Lightning has caused better birds than me to crash and burn. All right, I'll do it. I'm the ever-faithful Crow.
Good luck out there. Well, I guess he did it.
Uh-oh, I guess it's working.
That's done with. There's still quite a bit left in the bottle in case you need it later on.
Neat. Well, there's something you don't see every day. Oh good, he tucked and rolled. And apparently April survived. Hopefully everyone else in the castle did too. Wait. So that's it? No comment, no nothing? Okay. Let's head into town. And head to the pier. The captain will be delighted to hear the news.
Captain Nebeve?
Huh? Oh, it's just you. Where have you been?
Where have I... Don't you remember? I went north to find Roper Clax and get him to release the wind.
Oh, aye. You know, the wind did pick up mysteriously last night, but...
But what?
I don't trust it to not die down in a few hours. Or at the most, a day or two.
But I destroyed the alchemist. I even set his prisoners free from the rock they were trapped in, destroyed the soul stone, sailed back here in his floating castle, and you don't believe a word of it, do you?
Not a word.
Great.
Let's insist.
I did defeat Roper Clax.
Uh-huh. Do you have his severed head somewhere on you?
I beat him. I didn't say I killed him.
Of course you didn't.
Can we set sail for Elias now?
Well, the wind has picked up a bit, but I don't trust the good weather to last. I don't want to be sitting dead in the water come tomorrow afternoon, so I'll wait a few days more.
Thanks for nothing.
Great. Alright, let's see what else. Wait, hang on. If he wants consistent wind, we could just give it to him.
Captain Nebeve?
Huh?
I got something you want.
What? Well, out with it, girl. What is it?
Oh, nothing. You do remember our deal, don't you?
Remind me what the deal was again?
That if I defeated Roper Clax and brought the wind back, you'd give me a lift to the Isle of Elias.
Sure. The day I see a girl like you bring down a powerful alchemist like Clax is the day I hire a woman to be my navigator.
Well, look at this.
By the balance, girl, that's a strong grog you got there. What is it? Tyron spice wine?
It's the wind. Watch this.
Sweet jowl, that's a strong wind. You got some mighty powerful magic there, girl.
And there's more where that came from.
Care to share some of it with us? With that magic, we could make good time to Guienne. Pick up a cargo full of apples and be back here before the competition got wind of what was happening.
Sure. If you give me a ride to Elias, as promised.
Balance be cursed. Women aboard? When will it ever end? Jowls, bowels. Be here by this afternoon, or we'll sail without you.
As if you'll get far without my wind magic. And you did say something about hiring a female navigator?
Damnation! Do you insist on remembering every little thing I say, girl? Don't you know that Jal has forbidden women from riding the waves?
Sounds like a bunch of sexist bullshit to me. But it's your choice. I got the wind in my pocket. Now you learn to treat women with a little respect.
I've run out of curses, girl. Jal be damned, I am in desperate need of a navigator anyhow. All right. You be here by this afternoon with your navigator. It's not as if I ever put much faith in the teachings of the drunken prophet Jal myself.
Really? Well, I do suppose he just uses it to be obstinate rather than for faith.
Breathtaking.
Looks like not everybody has realized that the wind's back yet. That or they're taking their time getting underway. But hey, you do remember where there's a female navigator staying?
It's a blue woman. And you know, no big deal. I've seen it all. A blue woman is just run-of-the-mill now.
Let's see if she's got a job yet.
Pardon me, ma'am.
I'm sorry, young woman, but I do not wish to speak with anyone presently.
Ah. Well, luckily we've got a icebreaker here with us.
Pardon me for intruding, ma'am. But is your name Tunlayak?
Yes, I'm Tunlayak.
I have a delivery for you.
Oh, a map of the Northlands. I had almost forgotten I ordered it.
Sorry about that. I came by a few days ago, but you weren't here.
No, I was looking for work. Thank you kindly, young woman. I will need this map now, if I am to make it to Khorasan by foot.
Why are you going to Khorasan by foot?
I can ill afford the cost of passage on a ship bound for the Bay of Fire, and since I do not have a job, nor the prospect of getting one, I have little choice.
Are you from Khorasan?
No, I am from the Southlands. I have never been to Khorasan.
Then why are you going there?
Because I am told that in Khorasan, captains allow women to join their crew. Here, in Mercuria, they do not.
So I've been told. But you shouldn't have to go somewhere else to get a job. That just isn't fair.
Fair or not, it is custom, and custom is a difficult thing to change.
Why are you so depressed?
Is it that apparent to you? I do beg your pardon. It was not my intent to burden you with my dark mood.
It's okay, I don't mind. I'd like to help if I can.
I do not think you can. Unless you were the captain of a ship, and you could hire me as your navigator. But you are not, and so you cannot help me.
Well, I do know a captain who owes me a favor.
You're a navigator?
Yes, and I have a letter to prove it. Do you want me to show it to you?
No, I believe you. And you're looking for a job?
I have been looking, now, for many moons. But most captains do not want women on their crew, and so I am leaving for Coruscant in the morning.
I got a job for you, if you want it.
A job? As a navigator?
Yeah, on a boat called the White Dragon. We're leaving this afternoon, if you're interested.
If you are serious, then yes, I am more than interested. But will the captain allow a woman as his navigator?
This one will, trust me. Because if he doesn't, he's not going anywhere. Just pack your stuff and head down to the docks. Talk to Captain Horatio Nebeve of the White Dragon. Tell him I sent you. The name's April Ryan.
Thank you, April. I am Tun Lyak. I am most grateful to you. Will you be going with us?
Yeah, so I'll see you there.
Thank you so much.
Alright, you just made her day. Alright. So that was just a quick save there. But, looks like we are not leaving immediately.
It's the White Dragon, apparently the fastest vessel there ever was. Although I'm guessing that'll be kind of difficult to prove.
I like how she calls that a boat, even though it's a ship. Well, guess we've got to talk to somebody, so let's head into the stalls. Maybe the map maker. I should just finish with that. Oh, I lost the delivery list. Huh. Must have been in the swamp.
Did you make your delivery to Tun Lyak at the Journeyman Inn yet?
I took care of that delivery ages ago.
Really? Well then, I can finally fire you. You're the most incompetent errand boy I've ever had. Give me the delivery list and get out of here.
I think I left that list somewhere far away.
Ye gods, not only do I have to deal with your incompetence, but now the guild will skin my hide and hang it up to dry.
Sorry, dude. But hey, one more life that April's ruined. Just add that up to the tally. Well, looks like we can get in here, but Tobias isn't around, so... Well, maybe he's in the back here. Oh, sure enough.
You have returned from your trip north. It is good to see you again. I was concerned.
You're worried about little old me? That's sweet. And guess what? I kicked some alchemist ass while I was up there. Bet you didn't think I'd be able to do that.
Then you have lost your wager. I knew you would. After all, you are... I was worried because of the trouble in the West.
What trouble?
The Tyran. They left the city all as one, the evening before yesterday, and many of the vanguard with them. I fear there are dark times ahead.
You don't mean war, do you?
War, yes. It has been an age and a half since our last war with the Tyran. But relations have always been strained, and now, whipped into religious fervor by the vanguard, the Tyran are thirsty for blood and for revenge. They are a people bound by violence and without honor, and easily seduced by the prospect of a holy war.
God, that's horrible. But the city's safe, isn't it? It's a big city.
Yes, but unfortunately not well armed. Marcuria has not seen war for centuries, and people grow soft, forget how to fight. It can easily be taken by a strong army, and so I fear our safety. And yours.
What did you mean when you said, after all, you are...
Forgive an old man his misgivings, April, but I should have trusted you before.
Of course you should have. With what?
With the truth. That you are the one who will watch over us for 1,000 years. That you are of the balance, and the balance is in you. That you are the one born into the heaviest duty of them all. You are the guardian to be, April. The 13th guardian of the balance.
No! No, that's a lie. I'm not your guardian. That's not possible.
It is certain. I had my doubts, unfortunately. It could have cost us the balance, and I made a mistake. But it is certain now. You are stronger in the balance than anyone before you.
God damn, Cortez, he didn't say anything about... If I'd known, I wouldn't have come here. I would have... I don't know what I would have done, but I wouldn't have come here.
Maybe he did not know, or maybe he did. And he knew it would be wiser not to tell you. But I am telling you now because you cannot stay here. You are too valuable. You must leave.
Well, luckily I am leaving.
I am leaving for Elias this afternoon.
Good. The Tyran are not a seafaring people, and the islands are probably the safest place to be right now. Before you go, I want to give you something to carry with you. I spent the night looking for it in the Enclave. It has been gathering dust for over 10,000 years.
Oh, Tobias, I can't accept anything that old.
You are not accepting it. It is yours. The Fathers have only kept it safe for the day when the 13th Guardian would come to collect it. And now you are here. Please, take it. It is the talisman of the balance. Known to but a few, it is mentioned in one text only, the Scriptures of Reunification, one of the 13 Scriptures of the balance.
What does it do?
The Scripture speaks not of its purpose, but it is yours, whatever it is. I am certain it will help you once you find its purpose. It has strong magic, very strong.
Thanks, Tobias. I really do appreciate it, even though I wish I didn't have to accept it.
You are the guardian, child. Your fate is both glorious and terrible. But it is your fate. If you deny it, you deny our future. But I have faith in you, April.
That's what I'm afraid of. What if I screw up?
The balance provides. The balance protects. Trust the balance, and trust yourself. Goodbye, and good luck on your journey.
All right. Apparently we're the next Guardian. Well, I think Flipper said something about that back when we were talking to him.
The Talisman of the Balance. Tobias gave this to me.
I forget exactly what he said, though. It's been a little while. Especially with illness causing me to have to skip a few weeks. Alright, though.
Finally, we are ready. And we must away before it's too late. We still have another 6 or 7 hours of daylight today. Come aboard.
Sweet. Let's get going.
Did I tell you how much I hate water?
No.
Well, remind me to tell you sometime.
seasickness or phobia? So what's the deal with that? Oh well. Off we go. On the White Dragon, whom we met earlier, you might recall. Today's review comes courtesy of patron Kether Pterodyne. Kether has requested a novel from a long-running series known as the Honorverse, named after its protagonist, Honor Harrington. Specifically, I'll be taking a look at the second book in the series, The Honor of the Queen. Now, I've never read the Honor series before, so I'm not sure why we're starting with number 2, but here we go anyway. About the author. The author of the Honor Harrington series is David Weber, who was born in Cleveland, Ohio in 1952. His love of writing started early, supposedly in the 5th grade, and when he reached high school, he started taking odd jobs in the publishing business, like typesetter and copywriter. It's no real surprise then that he got a master's in English when he went to college in North Carolina. However, Weber had more than one passion. He was also an avid wargamer, which means he was playing the same tabletop games that would inspire Gygax and Arneson to develop Dungeons & Dragons. Weber helped create some wargames too, specifically a 4X board game named Starfire. It uses a science fiction setting, and some of Weber's first published works were tie-ins to the game. Anyway, as you must have guessed by now, Weber is a big fan of speculative fiction, and has written exclusively within the genre. At the same time, though, he's also a big fan of military history and the tactics and strategy of war, so it should be no surprise that his works include a lot of combat, whether they're fantasy or science fiction. The Honor Harrington series is a perfect example of this. The Honorverse setting takes place around 2,000 years in the future, and for most of that time humanity has been colonizing other planets, a movement called the Diaspora. Despite taking place in the incredibly far future, however, the series is very heavily influenced by the Horatio Hornblower series, written by C.S. Forrester from the 1930s to the 1960s. And since the Hornblower series follows a British naval officer during the Napoleonic Wars, the Harrington series follows a naval officer of a very British-style monarchy, and starship combat uses terms like broadside and grapeshot, despite how they refer to very different things in the future. Still, the two characters aren't exactly the same, and neither is the world or universe around them. But I think I'll get more into that after I describe the story. Honor Harrington is a captain of the Royal Manticoran Navy. Manticore is a fairly large constitutional monarchy ruled, at least in name, by Queen Elizabeth IV, and at the moment tensions are brewing between them and their neighbor, the People's Republic of Haven. Haven is a police state, and it's similar in size and technology level to Manticore, and so while war is basically inevitable, both sides are taking their time with it and building up their forces. In the first book, Captain Harrington destroyed a Havenite secret weapon with a light cruiser, and so she's been rewarded in this book with command over a heavy cruiser, the HMS Fearless. As for her background, Honor was born on a high-gravity world, and so she's been genetically altered to be stronger and taller than a baseline human. And while they were at it, they also improved her intelligence. She's also physically younger than her age thanks to rejuvenation technology, but most Manticorans can afford some amount of that. Honor has a pet tree cat named Nimitz, and it has this weird empathic ability that bonds him to his owner and lets him sense things like hostile intent in others. Let's see, oh yes, and she also drinks hot cocoa instead of coffee or tea. Honor's first mission with her new command is to escort a diplomatic envoy to the strategically important planet of Grayson. Grayson was founded by religious extremists back during the original colonization rush, their aim being to establish a new society free of modern technology. Sadly, they landed on a planet covered in deadly amounts of heavy metals, and so they wound up needing a lot of technology just to survive. However, they were successful in other areas, including the oppression of women through polygyny and the restriction of all political rights. Still, the people of Grayson aren't as bad as their neighbors on Masada. A few hundred years ago, an extremist branch of this already extreme religion arose, and to give you some perspective, they tossed out the entire New Testament because they don't believe in a loving God, and they brought back stoning as a form of execution. The moderates and extremists had a civil war. The extremists lost, and so they were exiled to Masada, which, oddly enough, turns out to have been a nicer planet. Nevertheless, the Masadans have sworn to either force Grayson into the true way or exterminate the heretics. Both planets have strategically valuable locations, so while Manticore is seeking an alliance with Grayson, Haven is secretly supplying Masada with ships and weapons. There's an admiral in the diplomatic envoy, but technically he has no commission, and so Honor is the ranking officer as captain of the largest ship in the escort. That's kind of a big deal in Grayson because they don't let women work outside of the house, let alone in the military. Honor thinks that her being there is a mistake, but she was personally chosen by the Queen, probably so that the Graysonites would have to confront the fact that a woman is the head of the Manticore state. Now, on the bright side, Admiral Courvoisier is the personal friend and mentor of Honor, so he helps her deal with her misgivings. Both Grayson and Masada are technologically backwards, and so the envoy also includes several freighters full of high-tech equipment and foreign aid. Oh, and the delegation includes a token peacenik named Houseman, who dares to believe that wars aren't inevitable, and that economic ties discourage armed conflicts. I'll admit he's being a bit unreasonable about his opinions, but the book plays him up as a straw man. The book cuts over to the Masadans, specifically to Sword of the Faithful Matthew Simmons and Captain Alfredo Yu, who is technically under Simmons' command. I say that because Yu and his fellow Havenites have technically immigrated to Masada, and the fact that they know how to run the Haven ships that were gifted to the nation is sheer coincidence. For his part, Yu is appalled by the Masadan fanaticism and their views on women, but he puts up with Simmons for the sake of Haven's foreign interests. He's also irritated because Simmons and the Masadan Council of Elders are terrible strategists who refuse to attack Grayson while the Manticore escort is present, even though the Haven ships are more powerful. Honor's visit to Grayson includes as much surprise and disgust as she expected, although some Graysonites are reluctantly willing to accept that Manticore ways are not like their own. It also doesn't help when the Havenite ambassador on Grayson stirs the pot by spreading word of their own version of the Basilisk incident, in which Honor didn't destroy a secret Haven weapon, but instead killed hundreds of innocent civilians on a freighter. It's a paper-thin story, but the misogynists on Grayson are willing to believe it. As such, Honor decides to go with half the ships to escort some of the freighters to their second destination. For his part, Admiral Courvoisier has better luck talking with some of the relatively progressive members of Grayson's elite, particularly the planetary protector Ben Mayhew, who was educated off-planet. Mayhew and the others like him are ready for Grayson to modernize, both technologically and culturally. But there's still a big majority who like the way things are, and while Mayhew is the chief executive of Grayson, he's mostly just a figurehead. However, with half the escort gone and the biggest ship with it, Masada chooses this moment to strike. They attack Grayson's orbital food platforms, but they follow a very predictable pattern, and so Courvoisier intercepts them with the rest of the escort. Unfortunately, this means they fall right into Masada's trap. In the ambush that follows, Courvoisier dies, but the Manticore ships are able to destroy a number of Masadan ships and cause them to withdraw from Grayson's space, much to Captain Yu's frustration. Honor Harrington finds all this out when she returns to Grayson, and she blames herself from running away from Grayson's misogyny instead of confronting it head-on. A few Masada light attack craft get a hit or two in before she realizes what's going on, but after that, she sends one of her destroyers to Manticore for reinforcements, and then meets with Grayson's military leaders. Oh, and Houseman turns out to be a craven coward who wants to evacuate instead of defend Grayson, because of course he is, and so Honor slaps him to the ground and practically gets a standing ovation from everyone else in the room. Anyway, Honor demands a personal meeting with Protector Ben Mayhew so she can make Grayson coordinate their forces with her, and Grayson's council reluctantly allows it. Meanwhile, we find out why Masada retreated. They don't want to be beholden to Haven, so they've planted secret agents in Grayson's government and security force, and they have them try to assassinate Mayhew and blame Honor and Manticore so their own people can take over. Fortunately, Honor's tree cat senses danger and attacks one of the disguised agents, so Honor kills a whole bunch of them until a shot takes out her eye and part of her face. Honor and Mayhew both survive, the Masadan sympathizers get shot or arrested, and since the fight was recorded, Grayson's council stopped getting in Honor's way. Now with free reign, Honor deploys a secret Manticore sensor system that uses gravity pulses to send information faster than light speed. She uses the sensors to find Manticore's remaining light attack craft, and thanks to documents seized from the sympathizers, she also finds out about a secret base on a moon of a gas giant. Honor rushes over to the base to destroy it, and she finds out it's being guarded by one of the Haven ships. It does some damage, but Honor disables it and takes some prisoners. And when she does so, the enemy commander tells her that some of her people survived the original ambush and are being held prisoner and worse in the base below. So she sends in her marine complement to capture the base, which they do, and she discovers that the Masadans have been raping and torturing the female captives. Back in Masadan space, their Council of Elders decide to return to Grayson to nuke the planet, but only on their own terms. So they fill the remaining Havenite ship with Marines, supposedly to transport them elsewhere, but then they turn on the Haven crew. Captain Yu figures out what's about to happen just in time to do something about it, and he issues an order to cripple the ship and evacuate. They don't manage the first part, but they do manage the second, which means Simmons is now in charge, and he has no experienced crew for his ship. Nevertheless, he returns to Grayson space to destroy what's left of the escort fleet and glass the planet. Honor realizes all of this when Simmons' ship appears, and she's dismayed to discover that the ship in question is a battle cruiser, the next class up from her own heavy cruiser. Fortunately, Simmons' inexperience causes him to make a series of mistakes during their battle, and so Honor is able to destroy the battlecruiser just after her reinforcements arrive and before it can drop nuclear bombs on Grayson. After the battle, Honor receives prestigious medals from both Grayson and Manticore, and she's made a steadholder in Grayson so that they can start working on women's rights. This qualifies her to hold the rank of Countess in Manticore, and just for fun, she's also made a Knight of the Order of King Roger. And that's the end. The analysis. First, allow me to compare protagonists for a moment. Now, this is not something I would normally do, at least not so specifically, but Honor Harrington is explicitly inspired by the Horatio Hornblower series, and so the author is inviting this comparison. And honestly, I find Honor a bit lacking. Horatio Hornblower is an absolute mess of a person. For one thing, he's low-born, and that's a major disadvantage for a man who lives in a time and a place where the vast majority of the officer corps is made up of nobles. He's also clinically tone-deaf, so he can't enjoy music outside of percussion. And he gets extremely seasick extremely easily, so he's basically useless on board a ship until he gets his sea legs, about a week into a voyage. On top of that, he's very socially awkward, which is a problem since ship captains were expected to be well-mannered gentlemen, diplomats, and ambassadors when they were abroad. Hell, he only married his first wife because she was helplessly in love with him, and he figured he might as well make her happy, even though he didn't care for her one bit. However, Hornblower is also intelligent and well-educated, a shrewd strategist with an incredible poker face, a quick-thinking tactician who adapts to the changing battlefield, and a good leader who earns his men's loyalty and avoids using the draconian laws of the day. Now, Hornblower does eventually get rewarded for all of his hard work and talent, but he only gets it after going through the worst period of his life. After clawing his way up to captain of a ship of the line, Hornblower gets overwhelmed by a French fleet and is forced to surrender. He then has to escape a French prison, cross the French countryside as a fugitive, hijack a ship, and then cross the English Channel to get home. Only then does he get a big payday for bringing in a prize ship and a knighthood for exemplary service to the British crown. This happens in the 3rd book in publishing order and the 7th book in chronological order. Now you might have guessed it by now, but I've read all of the Hornblower novels, and I admit they color my perception of the Honor Harrington series. Compared to Hornblower, Harrington seems like she's got it easy. She's genetically engineered to be superior to a baseline human. She's bonded to a space cat who can sense danger and maul her attackers. She lives in a more egalitarian society where low-born officers getting command positions isn't a big deal. She gets a noble title in her 2nd book, and not after having to surrender and escape from enemy territory. I mean, I'm not saying she doesn't have problems. In the Honor of the Queen alone, Harrington gets her eye shot off, she loses her mentor, most of the ships under her command get destroyed or disabled, and at the end she has to face a battle cruiser that, under competent leadership, would have blown her heavy cruiser into irradiated particles. It's just that Hornblower has to face worse odds than that, and he has much deeper character flaws to contend with. And so, to me at least, he comes off as a much more compelling character. Then there's that straw man bit in the novel. Houseman has some good points about how trading and economic reliance are good for deterring war. But he is wrong in this case, since the main conflict is a religious disagreement that goes back centuries, and both sides are isolated from each other and the greater galaxy. Even if both sides played along and made some token trade agreements, they'd be decades away from being so interconnected that they'd suffer from declaring war. And besides, even trading partners have declared war on each other. My problem is not that this guy has the wrong idea. My problem is that this guy has a very obviously wrong idea. An idea so wrong that even an economist would tell him that he's barking up the wrong tree. He's not here to present a diplomatic counter-argument. He's here to show how ignorant and cowardly pacifists are, and thus how honorable and glorious and intelligent the military is by comparison. And please keep in mind, by the way, that from what I can tell, David Weber never served in any armed forces, but is an active member of the NRA. Oh yeah, this book is also about sexism, isn't it? Well, for that, there's really not that much to analyze. Those from Grayson and Masada are either intelligent and regretful of the way their societies treat women, or they're fanatics who can't get over the idea of women in uniform and do terrible things to them in the name of their religious convictions, and who have all of the character depth of a kiddie pool. So, to sum up, despite the tone of this analysis, I would say the Honor Harrington series is worth reading. However, I would also say that the Horatio Hornblower series is even more worth reading. Thanks for joining me again for today's book review, and I hope I'll see you next time for a second Dungeons & Dragons tie-in book.